Hi, folks. Nick Tuckert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Let me bring this up. I'm trying to teach myself the wonderful world of Streamyard, so I do hope you guys enjoy, and I'm hoping that I can use this to upgrade my my broadcast capabilities. Hello, Cindy Kep. Cindy Kep is, hold on, watch this. Y'all can see. Cindy Kep is listening while she's on her way from QuadCon. Alrighty. The Historical Fencing Guild is brought to you by the Simple Sword and the Fighting Axe, both of which are right here. They just fell over. And they're both upside down. Because, folks, that's the kind of programming you expect from me. The Simple Sword and the Fighting Axe are the easiest and quickest ways to learn how to sword fight. They're available at Amazon at www.amazon.com/author/Nicholas Tuckert. That's me. Hello, Frog G. We've got Frog G. We've got Thesis. Let's get this party started. Hi, guys. I'm sorry if I'm a little discombobulated right now. I'm teaching myself how to run StreamYard to try to make things better. And it is nearly Halloween. Wow. We're going to fight. We're going to keep the energy up tonight. It's been a really rough one on me. I lost a relative to COVID today. My wife is sick, and my son's been having some behavioral issues. The joys of doing what I do. But that's not going to stop me, folks, because I am a one-man army against, the norm. We're just going to make things fun and going. So, hello to Frog G. Hello. We'll throw you guys up. Look at this. I've got this sorcery. Hello to Thesis. I'm so glad to see you guys. Now, there may be a slight delay while I get the comments as they come in. Thank you for your patience. Let's look at what I look at. Because what happens is every week while I'm doing the show, I have to check up news and answer sword questions and stuff, which I love doing. I love being helpful. But then I either have to do the old, here's my phone. I'm going to show it up this way. And that's really cool. Hey, thank you. It's almost the cumulative effect more than just that. I mean, he was one of my cousins, and I don't really think any of my relatives watch this program, but that's okay. A lot of people have lost a lot of folks with this, and it's why I tend to take it very seriously. And right now, some of my best, most favorite people in the world are either going to QuadCon one way, or they're already down in Dalton, Georgia, enjoying HoloCon. And I hope they all have safe travels and profitable ventures, a good time, and that most of it stays off the internet. But as for yours truly, freelance swordmaster to the stars, the mighty manatee man, master of marketing, I'm going to just keep pushing through because that's how I deal with stuff. Oh, I love it that I'm okay. We'll see. Thesis, thank you for that. Thank you for that. This is great. My son just got a thing on Galga. I'm so proud. But what I have the capacity to do is look up given products, and actually I can share my screen nicely and show you what I'm looking at. So we're going to kind of blast right past the grief, at least for about 2 hours, because that's not what this channel is supposed to be about. And there are too many people right now gathering to eat pizza and have a good time. I get messages, Nick, your positivity is infectious. So I'm just hoping that the latent positivity in the mess. I was going to be decorative for you guys, but I'm down a horn, and I have to find the other horn and my other ear. So we'll see. Something amusing might show up later, but we're going to keep going, okay? And I'm going to, the nice thing is folks can send me links. I'm going to have to figure out how to turn off those notifications because that would get really annoying really fast. But let's talk. Let's talk for a second. One thing I always do is I try to find you guys the deals, and there's not a lot of really new stuff to show. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up to Purple Heart Armory, which I figure as an affiliate link they won't mind, and go right to their deal for the day. High-end sword trainers are great. This is something I've been talking about. If you have the Rollins synthetic sword system, it's a little older. Being able to pick up a wheel pommel for $8 is a steal, and I'm really hoping that that interests some of you guys. Screama guys, there's some good sticks. I have a love affair with these dorky bottles. They absolutely make me happy, and I'll probably order one for myself. But I am not allowed to order anything for myself early November or around December because of the holidays. So I'm just going a quick scroll through, which is what I usually do before the show. But I do this to it's cool that I can just bring it up, because now I can say, hey, let me just do this. I'm going to lose a little bit of my screen. Can I show? Whoa, sorry folks. I'm still playing with the windows and making stuff go. And Thesis Foxy, of course, you guys are in my thoughts and prayers, as is your friend. I figure if people can hate each other without knowing each other, I can love each other without, love folks without knowing them. So one thing I really need you to do is like, share, and subscribe. I can't tell who's doing what other than getting an idea that somebody's watching, but that's what we're going to do. Now, let's see. Oh, I love this because you guys can watch me type badly. But with this, I can do. I can either bring up my own videos from earlier, which I think is really great. Kid size gin. Okay. Yes. Let's see. Youth. I know that I just got a message that Christian is doing some stock up on. On his source. Yeah, isn't this great? This is great. So they don't have a picture up yet. I haven't heard anything new, but let's look into this. Now, I love the youth size. Okay, so the blade's 30 inches overall, 1 pound weight, and 23 and a half. That's going to be a really great size, especially for Foxy, from what I know. I would really consider doing something like that with her. I'm a big fan. $40 isn't bad. Basically, a lot of the price goes by the complexity and the overall length, how much material they have to throw into it. Very complex pieces are harder to pattern out when we're making stuff. So let's look at we go over here, because I talk about this site all the time, but to be able to actually navigate it with you and be like, what do you think? That's what I figured. She rocks a 31-inch cane. That is perfect. I think I rock a 34. I have to double check. I've had so many canes, and I use longer canes because I have just this hidden affection toward Joe staffs. Not bow. I mean, I like bow staff too, but I have an affection for Joe staffs. Let me see. And I'm just playing a little bit with this. That's better. Y'all don't need to see me that clearly. I'd rather have you be able to see what's going on. The other great thing about me using this app, this program, I'm sorry, I've been dealing with phones so much, is, and Cindy kept says snazzy. Thank you, Cindy. Let me come back here. Yeah, I want to see, we're going to go in here. We're going to go world martial arts, Chinese culture, because I am really interested between the difference between the synthetic gin V2, which, and let me see, and then the 49 inches. So this would be very long. This would not suit her at all. 110. And we can go into the synthetic trainer, because they're very similar looking. They're only $1 difference in price, but I'm curious on what the differences are. This one is much shorter. So I'm going to be looking into it. I do have some concerns about these metal guards because they can dig into plastic. And when you're using a synthetic trainer, guys, you want to be very careful to not overtax yourself. And that, you know what, that makes sense. Thesis makes a wonderful point, and I could throw it up here. This is really cool that the V2 is closer to a Hanjin by the looks of it, larger handle, smaller guard. And I like that. I think one thing I look for are weapons that can cross-represent. What do I mean by that? Trainers that can be used for multiple styles. So there is a trainer I think folks have been sleeping on, and what I'm trying to do, if it seems like I'm cutting out while I surf a little bit before I bring things up, is I don't want this to flash too much, because Cindy Cap is both a Patreon member and and dear friend, and I respect that she has some issue with flashing images. So I'm trying not to blink in and out too much, even though I have access to the new toy, which is really cool. I love having access to new toys because anything I can do to make things better. Eventually, I want to have live guests. I'm not sure how many I can do with the free version of Streamyard, but I really would love to get in a position to where I can have some of the people who are commenting, video chat on. I can send them the link and just have them hop on with me. I think that would be very dynamic for you guys. But this is the Dow Saber Trainer. And this is up. Thank you, Johnny. And shout out to Johnny Cage. Sorry, guys, I'm a little low on caffeine, so I have to get this blood diluted in my caffeine system. But I like this because the Dow and Katana have very similar origin pieces, and they've influenced each other back and forth. And likewise, from the Dow, farther west, you've been to the Middle East, and the scimitars start to work in. So while this is technically a Dow Saber trainer, this could really be a great trainer for a lot of different styles. It has a reasonable guard. And see, I would love to do that, and maybe even get a few more people who are notarized. We might do an East meets West day, because back in the day I used to do those with Marco, friend of mine who goes by another handle. My buddy Sword Sage, and we would have East meets West days, and we were going to do a hangout, and it never worked out. His broadcast schedule is kind of broken down. His life has been life. But I would love to set up something like that with Prep. There are a few other people, depending on how they're handling things, it could be really, really educational. I'd love to reach out to someone like Trelena Bachman and have her on, where we can talk about fencing to through female eyes. And I'd like to expand that direction too in the future. But what I like about this is it's 40. It's a moderate length. Let me go down to the sizing. The blade is about a 30-inch blade. Well, see, and that's the thing. It's okay. I want to show you guys something, because this is great. Humility and availability both appeal to me. I'd also love to have somebody be a designated question asker. Somebody who may be watching this channel and wants to discuss and ask their own questions and have the option to do so live. But This is a really nice length, and of course, it is out of stock. You're going to find a lot of my favorite weapons and trainers are actually out of stock. So I'm blinking back, and again, try not to be too fast about anything. City, please let me know if I'm blinking around too much. Because I know someone was looking for Deerhorn knife trainers, and the butterfly knives actually interest me a lot. But I'm more interested because we're going to look at this, right? I want to see the difference between the butterfly knife trainer, which is clocked in at $22.95. Thank you. And they are sold as each. And okay, 13-inch blade, 18 overall. And if I come here, we go Bowie. Let's see if that's going to search. One of the searches doesn't come up as well as it should. Now. Yes. Okay. What this is telling me, one, I happen to know that the black plastic that you see. So this black plastic here, I will be upgrading the size of my cursor in the near future, too. I knew I forgot to do something on this computer. Is a lighter plastic. It's not quite as durable, but substantially lighter than the heavy white plastic he used to do his stuff out of. And this is something I've been kind of lusting after quietly for some time. It will probably be my next... Exactly. It's a short saber. Wait, I want to bring that back up. So this is the review from a fellow by name Stephen Coates. Costs, however. I bought this. I did not realize how much. It's much more short saber than a Bowie knife. That really speaks to me, folks. Because that narrow blade means the weight isn't going to be too bad. And I do love a good D-guard. The strapping might go away. So something like that, especially for us short people, because if we get into don't blink like that. Behave. 20-inch blade, 26 overall. So I think something like this would be great for Foxy. Realizing that if the grip feels too thick, you can cut that paracord right off and wrap it with some grip tape to soften the blow. And this is great because I can actually bring up the materials now and show you guys this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm doing. And I really think that something like this, plus that price isn't bad. Email me when back in stock. Ugh! Christian, you're killing me. But how long is that blade again? Is it 23? Did I say that? 20 inches. That means it's going to be 3 inches longer than my parry dagger. So, using me as a scale, this is my parry dagger, which I've always asked for a couple inches. Oh, sweet Mary and Joseph. Yeah, folks, I'm going to be bugging Christian about requesting maybe a brace of those when I have the money to do it again. Because that is just dead sexy. Anyway, so yeah, I really think that might be my new main lines, because I need a lighter weapon that I can work with my wrists, but still has hand protection. Whew. I wonder if I could improvise a clamshell guard for that. Ooh. Friends, we may be on to something. Now, again, and this is just how I shop for weapons. I do like his basic line because I can afford it. But, sorry. It is the season of the candy cane, and my blood sugars are a little low, so I'm going to have some fun with this today. I'm going to pop off of here. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's the whole, as a shorter man with smallish hands and limitations, finding weapons that are fit to my scale is the exact same problem many women who are of a more diminutive size go through. Uh, so I have to sit and I have to keep in terms. But what I've learned for myself really seems to cross the traditional gender gap. Now I'm not gendering anybody, but save for some mechanical things like the way the wrists, hips move, and armoring, that's the only kind of gender that I worry about most of the time. And for those of us who are smaller, something like this this might be the mainline sword I'm looking for. And well, okay, this is a neat comment. Foxy's problem is she's short, but she's stronger than she thinks. Part of one thing I find that helps me wrap shorthand for dealing with people is I don't believe, and this is going to sound silly, but bear with me, that the categories we think in really work well for understanding how people are built and how they operate. Now, not to use the medical term dwarfism, I'm using the fantasy term, and I'm not bashing anybody, so let's clear that up. But I can see Foxy, and I've known several women who are very short, they're rather stout, and there's nothing wrong with that. And they're rather strong. They still have the reach limitations. They may even have some agility limitations, but they've got solid grip if something's scaled to fit their hands. The problem is, I would love to see some of these big guys have to try to sword fight holding soup cans for hilts. You know? I mean, like, I love my drinking bottle, but this is not what a sword hilt should feel like. And I think that a lot of martial arts and a lot of Western martial arts are kind of geared towards let me just put that way towards that feeling of catering to the big macho guy. You know, most fencing seems to be built around that guy who's right around 6 foot tall, you know, 5'10" to 6 foot up, lean and swishy and pokey and very Errol Flynn. And people who are built like dwarves get crap for it. Pardon my demi-French there. I orbit between dwarf and hobbitdom at any given point with gnomish tendencies. I am not a big guy, but I'm kind of chunky in the middle, so and rather peace-loving. So I can see the hobbitish aspect, and I don't call that a bad thing. So I can see Foxy manifesting that way too, and that's okay. The other thing is there is a lizard brain that we all have to get over. What do I mean? When we fight, you know, I'm going to put this away just for a second. It's not gone. I can bring it back, but it feels silly talking about this over that screen. When we are fighting, there is an internal brain that says, I don't want to hurt anyone, and I don't want to hurt the people that I love. And usually you're training and sparring with people you genuinely care about. And that's kind of a really big deal, guys. And getting over that and learning to trust that you can, you know, that can be a type of training in and of itself. Now, I'm a very empathic person. I'm a very sympathetic person, but I'm also very much an empathic person. That has in the past made me very good about that in the past has made very good about being able to read emotions and deal with people clinically. It used to be my job to work with behavioral special needs people and deal with physical issues. I deal with that in my home with my son, but it also means a therapeutic form of violence. You have to be able to put in a hold. You have to be comfortable with blocking hits. You have to be comfortable with taking hits, because sometimes the safest, smartest thing is to let yourself get punched in the jaw. And to be able to do that for the care of someone, either you have stewardship, sorry, my eyebrows are being aggressive, stewardship, or you genuinely love, take something. And it's hard to be able to feel and endure violence while being bathed in the emotions around it. So it can be very challenging. That being said, learning things like crisis prevention intervention, which is what I learned to deal with special needs and what I was certified in. I'm sure it's lapsed. I'd love a recert, maybe one of these days. Setting into Tai Chi, learning deflective styles, and learning aggressive styles, learning maybe boxing or something that's very aggressive, can allow somebody who's empathic to adjust and adapt and use that. Two things. John Miner's back. John, we've missed you. It's been a few weeks since we've seen you in the comments. He says, don't worry about hobbits. Step on them when they go squish. You're so kind. I'm trying to build people up, and we'll talk about giants. We will talk about giants, because that's what John is. John is a fencing Hagrid. And it's a different thing. But John's also very comfortable and confident and competent at what he does. That's why I give him such reign. That's why I'm going with Tai Chi, Wing Chun, Destreza for her style. It highlights what she's good at. Absolutely. For us small people, footwork is so very vital. I can't really begin to get into how the understanding of moving our box around, where we can step. It is such a game changer, because somebody like John, if you're 6'6", you're 6'8", 7 foot tall. And yes, I've had to fence people who were 7 foot tall at my whopping 5'8" on my long leg. With scaled weapons. It's doable, but you have to really command your inner circle. And that becomes a melee. When you're fighting somebody at those kind of relative distances, the tournament mentality goes right out the window. You have to really, really, really be strategic. You have to be about fighting your fighting to your advantages. So that combination is going to be all about the mind game leverages. Be careful, Destreza favors a longer blade. So the small grip long might really be in her advantage, although I still think she might like that D grip. John further goes, footwork is vital for every fighter, no matter. Absolutely. And I never say it's not. I'm just saying that when you have to take 3 steps for the big guys 1, you have to really be choice on those steps and the timing, because with being little, your band is your footwork is all about that. She says Tai Chi builds a root. This is great. Wing Chun teaches center, and Destreza gives the distance. This is really, really funny, Thesis, because you and I, we've never met in person. We know each other very, fairly well over chat, and as one of my Patreon members, which I support. But as John Miner can really attest, You're pulling right out of my toolbox for this one. And a lot of it I incorporated was taught or demonstrated to me by John Miner. I have some people who have commented me off camera about John. And what it is we may differ, and we've certainly been friends long enough to poke at each other a bit. But I respect his opinion, even when at times I may disagree with it or see a counterpoint or see a different presentation. That's possible, and we have lost that talent for civility in a lot of things. I think the political tribalism has infected things that it gets ridiculous. As martial artists, when we have a chance to spar, we are playing and we are testing ourselves, our opponents, to see what works, at least in my opinion. I'm not walking around trying to, I'm the very best. I am not Ash Ketchum. I will never be Ash Ketchum of sword fighting. I want to be the very best. No. Now, John says something you hear. Fight your fight, not their fight. Know your ability and range. Absolutely. The more elaborate that we get talking about people's techniques and skills and other things, the more the basics become crucial. If you want to know what a master does, a master, everybody sees the thesis. I think when they talk about a master, they look for the thesis. I don't know how. Let me see. You're blocked. Sorry, folks. If anybody saw that comment go through, I zapped it. I will not now nor ever tolerate racism on any of my programs. Thank you very much. See yourself out the door. Sorry. Just swings the banhammer. Long may it swing. Anyhow. Sorry, that derailed me for just a second. But we're understanding that is how we're going to build each other up. And that's what we need. Let's see. John says, let's see. John says, push hands for steps and movement. Absolutely. Push hands is amazing. And the fact that I had the privilege and opportunity to do so much work with someone who was so overtly larger, overtly stronger, allowed me to train at a intentional disadvantage. I would rather play on I would rather practice on hard mode so I can play on easy mode, if that makes any sense. And thanks for the support, Cindy. No, we are all that gets me hot because I am all about helping people. A lot of people don't know this. I've been set on fire for my beliefs. Real world, literally set on fire. I will not stand for people who support that level of thing. No. But positive energy. Thank you, Cindy, for your support. No. So that's why it becomes a measure of how much wiggle room you have. When you are larger, because your weapon is more extended, because your reach is longer, you have more opportunity to adjust. So your timing works a little different. When you're much smaller, the margin of error is so narrow that it's harder to read sometimes. Now, the opposite is because the margin of error can be so wide on a big person, if you're precise, sometimes they can't see it till it's too late. And that's really getting to the mental game of sword fighting and what we do. And I am absolutely pleased as punch to to talk about something like that, because that's what's going to make it better for you, that perspective. Now, I love John. I miss him. I miss fighting with him because there was always a lot to learn. And the great thing is when you have studied this and there is, a lot of people, why don't you have ranks? I have people who I consider, you're either a newbie or you're an instructor. There's a sort of this nebulous where you know how to fight, but I don't want you to teach anybody. Yes, and that's one thing John's going to mention that's really mentioned. I want to get into that. But for me, I'm not about belts and ranks because I interact with different organizations. And I will tell you, I have never done martial arts in a gi or a robe or anything ornate. I've done a whole lot of backyard stuff, a lot of sword stuff, and then after we talk aside, I'm just not that formal. And I respect the formal people. I really do. I respect both their knowledge and their tradition and the framework that can provide. Hey there, Michaela. Glad to see you came by. But yeah, John says, limit your margin of error to shorter weapons if you are larger and have the reach. Yes. I know I cater to little guys a lot because I know I can do that better than a lot of people. That's not bragging. It's just not a point of origin. Likewise, when somebody has the arm reach. Oh, Thesis, you're my hero. But when somebody has the arm reach to reach out, and I want to shout out Michaela Jade. She's gone through some stuff lately. So, hi, Michaela. You can have a shorter weapon. So that thing I was showing this guy right here, I'm bringing it back up, and I'm bringing this back up. In John's hands, if they could fit in the guard, and I will say I genuinely am not certain they can. So for John, I would recommend there's some other really neat toys floating around the catalog that are around that 24-inch line. Yes. See, and that's an interesting thing John says. John says 20 to 30-inch daggers at distance works. Just like the scaling for I want to bring that up later, but we'll do it. Just like the scaling for a small person needs to fit their arm and length and stuff. And relatively, for me, an 18-inch is right between a dagger and a small sword. So that 20-inch would be very much a nice small sword size for me. I'm going to have to acquire one. I'll talk to the boss and we'll balance something out. I'll also have to bug Christian about that. But now, that also means that sharpened butterfly sword. Yeah, I don't have it here because it has been relocated for better tactical use. But that bush sword I demonstrated with the kind of dubious sheath, the Shroud Priscilla. It has a name, starts with an N. It's a bolo knife, but it's about 18, 20-inch blade. That is very flowy, okay? It's heavy, grippy, and flowy. The weight makes it want to move because the balance is at the sweet spot of the bend of the blade. That scaled is along. For John, that's borderline knife. But if John uses knife work techniques with short swords, he can have devastating effect. That's why giving that man daggers, SCA-style daggers, the TCA wide blades, especially that 18-inch line, giving him a brace of those is like handing Steve Clausen about an 8 or 9-inch blade, or handing me the my beloved FE9 trainer. It fits, it flows with his scale. So shorter people, don't be afraid to get shorter knives, smaller grips, things that fit you. Thus, bigger people too. It all balances out. I'm the butterfly swords. That's interesting. Some of the daggers are interesting. Now, if you saw me to go back to the scale on things, I want to show something. This little messer here is actually, if I go scrolling down, Dragon Sign movement works. Absolutely, John. This guy has a 26-inch blade, 36 and a 3/8 inch. This is a two-handed sword for me. That would be a great one-handed sword for John. That is on my shopping list as well, because something like that is scaled for me. A good way to look at if a blade is scaled for you is, can you find a way to comfortably draw it? Now, this is my favorite style of knife. I do prefer the spear point to the Bowie, but this works. I understand, Foxy. As long as people are enjoying my broadcasts and setting up, I'm going to keep doing them. But that price point is what's stopped me, because I could also go the full and have a long sword. It gets tempting, and I'm trying to find. So what I'm going to do, well, so I don't have to have you guys watch me flip through this. I missed the base. Actually, I'm going to show you what I did, because I do this when I'm coming here, and people have asked me because they have trouble navigating the site. Okay, so we go European arts. And even after I reflexively went to the swords, what you want to do for the financially ungifted, you want to drop down into the basic trainers. There isn't flex, but I'm thinking that this set especially could be very beneficial for some of the folks with the Eskrima style background. Yes, this is Arnis Espada and Daga. That means sword and dagger. It's a good combo at what looks like a decent price. And one thing I like is the implication of a striking pommel. That's interesting. I do a lot of, because my hands are so small, I usually have an extension at the back of any pommel. So, if I am fighting, very often I will do what I call pommel parry. I've been known to do a lot of blocks and responses. I've even not been known to do a hammer strike in the right, calibration when I'm allowed to, from a pommel. So having that accentuated interests me. I wouldn't want an edged pommel because I do too many shady things, and I don't ever want a weapon that I have to fight to do what I do. But I think this is something that you guys can find really useful. Yeah. Okay, John's going to say toothpick. John always says toothpick. It's either that or give an Arab give an Arab a sword and he'll turn it into a knife. But I've been asked to look into some of these things, and I keep coming back to this Bowie kilt. I don't know why he named it that way. I don't quite. That looks almost more like a colonial cutto. But yes, it's out of stock, but I'm going to bug him anyway because that interests me. And there was something. Yes. Really? He made a crowbill axe trainer? I didn't know he did that. See, one problem with the site, and I love the site, is they don't always put notice that new things are out. So you have to dig. This Dab Songmue for Krabi Karang, which I'm sure I slaughtered. appeals to me because I fell in love, and it's Sword Sage's fault. Yeah, I will get to that. It's a good comment. With a Nagamaki that I want to say it wasn't Chen, it might have been Hanwei. I can't remember what company he was working with. I fell in absolute love with that sword because it was basically somebody took a katana and just drug the hilt to make the hilt longer, kept the blade short. Devastating. So I see this guy. And when I am feeling financially flush, people, and I'm going to close this so you can see it, I'm going to see if I can get him to put a discard on one of these. Because if he'll put a disc guard on one of those, oh happy day. Now that would make me a happy camper. Because it's going to be light, two-handed, very aggressive, short blade, in and out. Ugh, chef's kiss. Neither here nor there, but I do like to comment on that. Now, John, oh yes, sorry, Windows Defender is telling me that it's defending something. Pommel extensions work well with pommel strikes and blocks rotating the blades away while delivering a devastating strike. Absolutely. And one nice thing about not being SCA, as I used to be, that's why I had to bite the word off, Cindy. I know my speech impediment was firing. Was we could combine the pommel with more grapple materials, and it can be oh, Cindy, you are a treat. That's www.ckoepp.com. I love Cindy. But and I'm gonna put this out too, because John put that comment and it's interesting. But being able to combine that with joint lock controls like you would some of the tonfa work, some of the bow staff work, and there are some people I know who actually favor Karambit Trainers, so the undercurved ring blades, Karambit Trainers that look something like this, just to remind people that in case Steve's ever watching again, the Hello Karambit still lives. Anyway, but a rigid one of these as a means of joint and muscle control, to the point the aluminum trainers are often carried, because while you can kill somebody with a sharpened one very easily, they don't always know they're dead yet, which sounds ridiculous, but really is quite true. So, yeah, and John says double ring guard with pistol ring to grip. Yeah, John knows I love keyhole grips and ring grips. I like things that can hold on. But I also, like I said, I'm trying to find, see, now, here we go again. I go through the site weekly, and every time I do, I find new trainers. Let me bring this guy up. That looks interesting. A Meyer Dusick. Karambits are... Exactly, Johnny. Exactly. That's gonna... I'm playing with the balance in my mind. I'll be the first to say, yeah, it's kind of ugly. But it does have... It is a variant Dusick. It's got, oh, that's cute. Okay. But that looks, see, I love stuff like that because I'll find out things that I didn't realize were there. And it's as I'm scrolling through, if you guys see something you want me to stop on, because this is what I usually do about half an hour, 45 minutes before the video. I check my notes. I see if there's anything really interesting going on. I do. Yes, they made a batleth. John Miner. I'm spending your money, John. John, you need a batleth. Hi, voice on broadcaster. Nice to see or meet you. I may know you as another handle. If I don't, welcome to the show. What I do is I talk trainers and we talk about training methods and stuff. Right now, this is my first or second time on this using Streamyard. So I'm playing with the features to see what the viewers like too. And generally just doing it as a bit of a prolonged information gathering. Ooh, that went derpy. Just a good show for getting people involved and interested. Yes, it's a batleth, John. That's why I was like, you need one. If there's one person I know alive who needs a batleth, it's John Miner. You need that. However, they can't use the term. So I really, really think, John, you just need one of these to play with. When I get Karambit, that's as close as I get to Karambits. Cindy Cap. Oh, Cindy Cap, you're a boss. Karambits are things I have begrudgingly learned to make go. Reverse grip is not my happy place. That's a weird piece of book. Yeah, it is. It is a Star Trek specific weapon, and it's tongue-in-cheek, but I love that they're making it because I think we need more fun in what we do. Who says I haven't made one? I would not be surprised at all. There's a straight version of just a Karambit that fits you. Yeah. I don't like the Haladi. The Hungarian Saber kit is one of the best deals out here because you get two cheaper than buying them individually at a fencing manual, and I do love that. There are, like, see, I said, there's a Ming Guard, a King Guard, Ming-style Youth Guard. So there are a lot of Jian trainers coming out. That's exciting. One thing I love about the synthetics. So that's 12 feet tall, John. Wait. John says, we gotta go through. Who says I haven't made one? It says it's just a Karambit that fits me. John Cage says I'm more confident with a reverse grip. Don't know. Oh no, reverse grip is incredibly natural. Let me get into my box of trainers here and grab a couple things real quick. Okay. This is the Cutter. Reverse grip, it's a little excessive. Let's put that down. That's just a touch excessive. We'll pull out my favorite knife trainer. Reverse grip is very comfortable. I almost would prefer one of my straight trainers for reverse grip, which probably sounds ludicrous, but I'm okay with being ludicrous. The nice thing is when you have a whole bag of toys. Now, see, the solution is a Nerf Tommy gun. That's what you really need. What you really need is a Nerf Tommy gun to solve just about all your problems on the fencing field. You know, but I'm not totally prone to that. Yeah, John said, "Oh, dude, just pull out." See, that's what I want, guys. I was getting worried that I had offended an old friend, John. There we go. This is what I was looking for. There aren't many knives that actually call to be used reverse grip. This is a Cold Steel sub-hilt knife trainer. The knife it's based on is about $55, which is far more expensive than what I carry. But absolutely, if you have the control. Now, reverse grip takes a lot of control and a lot of practice because it is a natural gross motion. If you think, hold on, I need to do something here because I'm actually I need to be up here. Hi. This. You have a lot of very natural, aggressive motions here. But if you're going to use something like that, hey, thank you, Frog G. Frog G says, hit the Frog G 1 second says, need to hop, hit the like, ding the bell, and subscribe. Thank you, Frog G. You are an amazing human being. Anyway, that's something like this works, and I've seen John absolutely spank an obnoxious starter marshal who was going to mess around because he was a big guy. Part of my background was I was told expressly under no limitations not to train heavy fighters. I was not to help heavy fighters learn how to fence. They aren't safe for the fencing field. It is not to be done. And you're right. Froggy being amphibian. Well, hold on. Froggy's totally a frog. I'm sorry. That was a speciest slip of mine, and I apologize. Anyhow. If you're going to use a reverse grip, and like I said earlier, and you have that reach, John fighting with a short weapon has the reach of me fighting with a medium to long weapon. That means he can use short weapon techniques, binds, and flourishes that I wouldn't be comfortable with powering. Don't be afraid to downscale. And he talks about Marine K-bar. I love a K-bar. I have a Air Force version. Oh, here we go. One of these, my little K-bar. I absolutely love this knife. The grip isn't too happy with the bracers I have to wear, so we have a little bit of armor. But yeah, K-bars are great. I have a trainer that's based on the newer model, but I'm not going to turn around and go digging again. But yeah, this is a great option for fencing. Now, this is something I am looking after, and I want to bring this up, especially now, John. This would make a great. I'm Ontario. Yeah, Ontario survival knife. Great knife. Let me just pull this up for a second. These are what I've been watching for a while, guys. They are, as usual, out of stock. They are geared supposedly to a 9 to 12-year-old trainer, but look at that. 42 inches, 30-inch blade. This, friends, for a lot of us, especially looking for two-handed, who are smaller gripped, are going to love this trainer. And I know they're good because they always sell out. I've been in the process of ordering them a couple times to have them sell out. So that it looks like this is going to be something to really keep an eye on, because I am not a longsword groupie. Never have been. I'm always going to be more of a one-handed sword fighter. It's just, if I'm going to fight two hands, I'm going to use a pole arm or an axe. It's just the way my mojo works. I can not saying I can't make them go, not saying I don't love some of them, but I know my proclivities. And we are at the top of the hour, so I want to take a moment to let me see if I can get this to come up. Nope. Boom. We can go here. We're going to go. I want to go out to thank the folks who make this possible, chiefly my Patreon members. I could not afford to have trainers. I couldn't afford to have there we go. Link. I could not afford to have anything. I really couldn't do this without your support. As little as $1 a month. I've been asked to have a $50 a month list, and I'm working on tiers, but universally, the vast majority of what I end up coming up with is the people who support me understand I'm trying to put free content out to elevate everybody. So the kindness and generosity and pure awesomeness I find in my Patreon group, I visit it weekly, religiously. I try to put up a message or a comment, and I want to up my interaction there because it's so good for me, actually. I have taken a lot of flack for what I do, and the fact that these kind of people give freely so that I can keep doing it, that's literally a huge part of my income since I stopped working to take care of my son, working outside the home. The other parts of my income come from the simple sword and the fighting axe, largely, at least through this channel. My fiction is hit or miss. It does better at cons than it does online right now. But there's a whole bunch of new stuff in the works. November is always a busy month for me. So please, hit my Amazon page up. Look up some of the games. Look up Melee. If you like what we do and you like tabletop gaming, I set up a game called Melee. And to be a wintertime trainer for recreationists. And it's only $2.99. So if you can, if you want the first published game that I designed, you can get that really, really cheap in digital format. So I'll bring that up so you guys can see it. I'm really proud of this. I set this up and tested it briefly with a gentleman by the name of Jesse Tibbetts. He was a squire in the Society for Creative Anachronism and probably one of the best human beings I've ever had the honor to know. And he loved chess incredibly. And John, I met him through John Miner and about the same time through my lovely wife. And the world is a bit darker than it used to be without him in it. So love you, Jess, on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge. And so let's get back to business. John was talking about the knife I held up, which is the Ontario survival knife. Ontario made the one I have, and there are variants obviously more keyed to larger hands. He has two in his survival kit, which is, I've seen his survival kit and his so-called battle rigs. They are formidable. And my 54-inch is a one-hand. So just to give you guys a scale, I fenced with a 34 for years. 34 to a 36. I have about a 34-inch, so roughly a 30-inch reach. My full arm extension and the sword is as long as John's standard sword blade. That's why I think it requires a lot to get around. Because, God created man, Colonel Colt made him equal. On a fencing field with strength and reach and things, John and I are not equal. That means I have to be shady. I have to be fast. I have to be accurate. I have to be prepared. And I have to just be kind of ruthless to make something like that go. So that's why I tend to teach to that angle. Thesis says, I love chess. I'm not very good at it, but I enjoy playing it. I love tactics games. tabletop tactics games, of which chess is one, and one of the oldest. When John's fighting two swords, he says he fights a 36 as his short and his 43 as his long. That really boils down to being scaled to me fighting with my 18-inch dagger paired with my 30-inch saber. They literally, when the two of us are fighting, if I have that loadout and he has his normal Florentine, which is the heavy fighter term for dual wielding or case of rapiers, that's what light fighters, at least in the Middle Kingdom of a decade or so ago, called it. That's scaled almost exactly. It's almost eerie how much that loadout mirrors itself in function and application. No, Cindy Cap, yes. Yes, Cindy, I have played Battle Chess back in the day. Now, I will say, that being said, chess is not my favorite tactics game because it's a game with a very... Some games have a very specific lesson and style they promote. Chess is a game of sacrifice. It is a game of war through attrition. And my problem with it is because the combinations are relatively limited, there is a whole network of people who have memorized the certain gambits and processes, and they deploy them. I like more flexibility. That's why I have played a lot of tactics games over the years, being that along with RPGs, I design tactics games. And I would say I'm even for my love of making RPGs, I'm almost more primary tactics game guy. Because I love thinking in units. And what I did with Melee was I wanted something to simulate small skirmishers with a bit of randomness to keep it spicy. So very simple. I am in the process of learning Go. I want to learn Go. I also was learning Pai Shao at one point, which is not a real game. It is a fictional strategy game. Risk. Now, Risk is that next level up. Risk is great, but it's huge scale. This is generals, and I do love sliding that. I am a skirmish guy most of the time. Melee and D&D. Yes. Now, people forget that Dungeons and Dragons basically came from Chainmail, which was a tactics game. It was originally set up by TSR. That's Tactical Studies Rules, folks, in 1973. And no, I'm not. Nope. So I had to remove a different comment from somebody else. I don't think you guys even got to see that one. So pardon the click. The trolls are out in force tonight, and that's okay. I don't, homie, don't play that. Still got the original. Yeah, you know what I do? One thing I do normally on Wednesday nights now, due to a loss in the family, the last 2 weeks were denied. I am running a game, and this is a little off topic, but it's not because we've got there through another YouTube channel called Red Valkyrie Presents, using the basic fantasy role-playing system. John, you should look into this. You can download it for free. You can buy the paperback versions of the main book for $5. This lovely hardback edition runs like $13. But this is 5th ed if it was written by somebody who just got tired of playing THAC0. This is a great system. But games I've played, let's see, systems. D&D, every single edition pretty much, except, well, I tried 4th briefly. Rifts, Vampire, Werewolf, Call of Cthulhu, Castles and Crusades, what is it? Pulp Adventures, go, Hybrids, The Sons of Gods, made on Luke Stones. Now, tactics games, Mage Knight. John's mentioning HeroClix, and HeroClix is okay, but the original Mage Knight was better. I said it. I also am all about my robots. That being, I was a playtester. GURPS! Yes, I played GURPS. I loved GURPS. GURPS is a great system when you don't want to deal with D&D shenanigans. TriStat. TriStat is a great system, especially if you're into anime. Starfleet Battles. Starfleet Battles. Now we get into vehicle-based. I was a playtester for Cav briefly. I'm proud that the name Talkert is part of canon in BattleTech. In classic BattleTech, Mr. Purdue, in one of his books, actually included my last name as a setting name to thank me. Ages of Ion, the MechWarrior Dark Ages clicks, I've played them all. I really enjoyed the original Mage Knight and HeroClix back in the day. Gods and Generals is good. A little complex, but that's okay. Axis and Allies. I'm dating yourself. You're doing so deliberately, John, and that's okay. But my classic BattleTech was good, I think, and I think Cav got better, and both classic BattleTech and Cav became like Alpha Strike and Alpha something. I mean, the two systems have basically stepped a degree closer to each other. And I'll say I still love Big Stompy Robots. Yes, I am saying my favorite game, tactics game to play, is a game that I designed. And that sounds kind of crummy, but the trial level is 99 cents. And the full book is $5.99 or $9.99 to buy. Use your own mechs. I love this game because Valkyrie. Valkyrie was great. Okay, sorry. Dating myself. Didn't do too much tabletop. Mostly MMO and console games. I started a replay. Oh, really? Hold up. Let me get rid of this for a second. Yeah, I'll go to my Amazon site at www.amazon.com/author/Nicholas Stockert. That's me. But wait. Thesis. I didn't do much tabletop until a couple years ago, mostly MMO and console games. Love console games, love console tactics games. I got started with a lot with Final Fantasy and front mission games. Final Fantasy Tactics and front mission games. I started a replay of Skyrim as you, Nick. Okay, I gotta know. I need to know stats. I need details. Race. I'm curious because wait. I'm gonna write what race I would think. Okay. And if I misspelled it, I'm okay with that too. But on this card, okay, it's not showing through, is a race. Now, I want to see if we're the same. If not, I'll find it hilarious anyway. What race do you think I would be in Skyrim Bladed Thesis? And you guys heard me right. I'm just sitting here. So let me know on that one. Meanwhile, John says, bring on the Valkyries. Take me home to the ale house. Now, I know a couple Valkyries. Valkyries are good folks. And Red Valkyrie over at Red Valkyrie Presents, because you have Red and Cyborg Valkyrie, there's some great people too. And if you're not following them, you really should be. I got started with Centipede and other bar video games. On video games, my first video game was a game called The Amazing Adventures of Malcolm Mortar with the hero B. Rick on the Tandy Color Computer 3. That's the first game with graphics. The first game would either be Oregon Trail or Zork. Breton! Hold on! I always make players based on people I know. I made you a Breton, but I debated what else. Breton! To thy own self be true. I don't know who won points with that one, but points were won. Absolutely. Yes, and that's really my shtick 99% of the time would be Breton. Oh, cool. Cool, John. And John's talking old games again. But yeah, I still have Zork tucked away somewhere because that White House is great. But getting back on topic. It is the last show before Halloween, and I did ask some people supernatural entities that you need to help. And having John here is going to make for some humor for this one, folks. They asked me, well, Nick, how to make a witch better. I want to talk about this because some of my best favorite people in the world are witches. They are practicing full on the ground witches, and that is their religion and their beliefs. And whether you agree with it or not, you should respect that. Haven't decided heavy or light armor, but he's so far doing sword and dagger. Yes! Yes, Thesis, you are absolutely spot on. I love it. I absolutely love it. Maybe you could get a screenshot or something. I'll find it amusing. But that being said, what would I say to somebody who's a quote unquote witch in an RPG? How to do things better? Y'all gotta hex some people who deserve it. Don't be afraid to put the mojo down. Be subtle and terrifying. That's your skill. This whole I'm going to be obvious. No, you aren't a hag raven from Skyrim. Get yourself some hair, get yourself their name, and do what you got to do, honey. Because I'm going to tell you guys something. I watch a lot of Ghost Hunter things, and I feel it, folks. As long as they're not messing with kids, like the ones where they come into somebody's house and they're messing with kids, tear them up. But the ones to keep your hat. But the ones to I love what's going on down the line. But the ones who go into like the haunted abandoned place and mess with the ghosts and are all dickish, they deserve the haunting they get. I feel like Betty White. I hope the gator eats all your friends. And I feel bad. But if you're gonna, don't start stuff and there won't be stuff. So understanding that, don't be afraid to have good, strong allies. Keep your casters in general, your practitioners should be all about the long ball. That's your preparation, your setup. Everybody wants to see the Harry Dresden that's out throwing fireballs and Fozare walls down. But the one who takes the time to build a perfect model of Chicago for the purpose of tracking people, that's terrifying. That's like Faye style terrifying. For good, excellent examples of how to consider behaving tactically as a traditional witch, go listen to Old Gods of Appalachia. The Walker women, the whole line, are terrifying, and they deserve it. So that's That's where you want to go on that one to answer that question. So, that being said, after you've all done that second chance body armor, you know, if most of your stuff is already in wards and set up, don't be afraid to throw on a breastplate, people. You know, oh, it might interfere with your fast mojo. That set up your scrolls, set up potions, set up stuff ahead. You shouldn't be scrapping. You should have things already summoned and ready to go. So yeah, I'm going to go through the comments that we got going because I don't quite have a comment down, but we're getting there. John had Pong and we had to program it. Thesis hasn't said that was what he was talking about, Sword and Dagger for me. John was talking about making a dice roller. Keep to your path and hex. Yeah, well. Heavy armor. See, that's awesome. How did you know? John, you're obvious. Start stuff. And Foxy is a Taoist druid, so eclectic witchcraft. Hey, groovy. A lot of people I know are practitioners. Just because I am, oh yeah, and John rocks that, which is interesting. I see a lot of overlap. I'm still a Christian. I still walk that path. But I'm not offended by other people's bosses. That's not for me to engage. I have my own business to take care of usually, and my own stuff. I think people have changed. No, not to walk a dangerous path, but I think people have turned the point of a lot of what I consider the tenets of my faith and forgotten them for self-aggrandizement, and I'm not comfortable with that. But that's where the line between I'll talk Fantasy Mojo all day with you guys. Tactically, we'll talk D&D or whatever game or system. When we get into real Mojo, I respect it enough not to talk about it lightly. And I am a different duck, and I'm okay with that. I've come. My belief and my experiences don't clash. It's just interesting. So that's my take on Mojo. In the real world, I am a stumbling Christian trying to do the right thing, and I just understand a few things. And what I understand, I keep track of. So, not really big on titles, not really big on names. Just do the job when the job gets called. It's a gig. You either get it or you don't. But it's not about me. And I don't know if that makes sense. That's okay. If it doesn't make sense, don't worry about it. If it defends, walk away. But mine is a colorful lot. But it's not about me. It's about service, and it's about helping folks. And I'm not the best at it. I fall flat on my face more often than not, but I try. I hope that counts. Okay, now we've gotten down into a very interesting debate. We got Disa says I call myself a Buddhist, but I'm actually my man Egg Shen said it great. You know, you go to the buffet and you take what you want of this, that, and the other, and it's Mojo is Mojo. I actually have for years been working on a book on the subject of Mojo demystified, like just talking about metaphysics / supernatural / magic, all that stuff from a non-dogmatic perspective. And someday I may even publish it. We'll have to see. Have to see if the interest is there. People don't. I've had people accuse me of not working on that, and I find it hilarious. But I think the only title that I've ever had in that front that I hold and allow to stick at all was one of the highest honors I was ever given. I was called a metaphysical MacGyver. And usually it's because I'm tactically dealing with a problem, like somebody's got a ghost or something like that. So that's all. That was when I was a paranormal consultant. Don't like investigator because the guys who run around with the cameras trying to catch evidence are playing a different game. And I'm certainly not an exterminator because 9 times out of 10 they have more right to be there than you do. But yeah, it's a whole convoluted thing, and this is a very interesting thing. Oh, let's see. Oh, thesis. John's, I believe, ordained. I've been asked to get ordained, but to be ordained in a style. It's like, how do I fence? Well, there went a hammer. How do I fence? I'm okay. With whatever I need. I use the style that fits the day. I'm a fencer. But beyond that, it gets real complex real fast. So I don't really, that's why I use the term swordmaster, because I needed something that wasn't attached to another system. And believe it or not, I see swordmaster or weapons master as simply the guy who teaches the class. John says, by the way, Jonathan is now a master mason and will be knighted into the Knights of St. Andrew on the 14th. Congratulations, John. The Masons are an interesting group. They've done a lot of good. And he says, I will be knighting the candidates that way. Well, that's good. And he says, I too bladed, I do life passages and weddings. And it's interesting because I find the overlap of people who study swordplay and people who study the occult and religion and people who study mathematics in strange ways. There is a Venn diagram. And as much as I despise math, statistics make sense to me. Once I realized that I'm dyscalculic and the numbers float around, I realized I could understand the processes, but getting the figures to stay put was problematic. But I'm really good at estimation. Outlierly so. So I'm groovy with that. And if that's how I operate, it's a great way to get through life. But with Halloween coming up, please, guys, this is the last broadcast I should be on before Halloween night, and through Who's Strange. John's like, Who's Strange? And Flying Feline. Hi, Flying Feline. Good to see you. We had an interesting I do doubled. I'm sure we can find somebody to cover you if you went down that route. Yeah. Now, with Halloween coming on, and we've kind of poured it into that, please don't be stupid. Now, what do I mean by don't be stupid? No, don't go in hazardous places because it's spooky time. That's dumb. Spookiness exists. Wow, my eyebrows are aggressive today. I'm in full arty mode. Spookiness exists largely to tell us, hey, don't go there. That is our body being the old man in the truck with the bloodhound at the start of most horror movies, who's like, don't go in them woods, Luke Garou, he come for you. You know that guy? And then he leaves and most of the time doesn't die because he realized there's stupid stuff going on. Stupid things. And yeah, don't do the thing. Spooky whatnot. You know what, John? Do you know how many of I had to deal with X problem of a metaphysical nature, if I told those stories, involves someone with the last name of Minor. Not putting you on blast there, John, but a whole lot of misadventures have been with you and your kid. Because I'm a big guy, And a few of y'all forget that the supernatural doesn't care how big you are, it can still eat your face. Although usually you handle it pretty well these days. Just stay humble. The universe has a bad habit of adjusting that. And I'm a goofball, but I'm also an applied coward. I can look at a situation and go, this will eat my face, so I'm going to DD Mao. No, being stupid makes me some real effort. Johnny Cage, you brilliant Brazilian person. I absolutely love you in the ground you walk on, man. That's just, yeah. Y'all, not me, but my kid anyways. Yeah, because your kid was trying to be you. Why do I work so hard to teach people to work from their standards? Because if you're not careful, they will try to work from others, and it may not fit. But your kids are all doing well, and I haven't had much issue. So yeah, all jokes aside, for a brief moment, please be smart. COVID doesn't care, guys. Like I said, I lost my cousin to COVID today, and I did think about canceling the show because I was kind of emotional about it and it compounding everything. We nearly lost Luke, and it's still dubious. Luke Stone. I've lost other people and had a whole lot go down. It's scary and not fun scary, so be smart. That being said, have fun too. Don't be afraid to put out the spookdom, decorate your house, do some fun stuff, but don't be silly. The other thing is, for folks who pay attention and actually believe, especially between now and Day of the Dead, the veil's thin. And I don't know if you do believe in that stuff, or you're thinking of playing with it. Be respectful, guys. A lot of people passed over suddenly, unexpectedly. The mojo of the last 365 days has not exactly been copacetic. It was different than last year, and I think there was a lot of healing pains from the damage of 2020. But be respectful, guys. Be smart. Don't vandalize anything. Not that I think any of you will, but please don't. Yeah. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, John. Yeah. The only reason I'm comfortable talking about this is the relatives who might not know, and I'm pretty sure they all do, don't really watch my shows. So I'm kind of not really heavily connected to that part of the family. Love them. Don't get me wrong. But because of mechanical distance and COVID and such, I haven't seen a lot of people. Hug your folks. Hug your kids. My aunt lost her son. You know what I'm saying? Not fun. And I know that's not fun. And I try to keep upbeat, but we also have to be real. And that's what this crazy thing called sincerity that I shoot for, and I aim for integrity. You know, I may not always hit it, but I aim for it. Exactly. Cindy Kep says maintain minimum safety clearances. Just be smart. Right now, a lot of the people I care about deeply are at conventions, and they are at celebrations, and I am very happy that they get to, and I am very excited for the opportunities that they will have, and I am truly joyful that most of them are going to be very safe about it, but I'm also going to be worrying about them the whole time. And I probably won't really take a breath of relief in some cases till about 2 weeks after cons, the big cons. just because too many people I care about are all going into one place, and that happens. And whenever all my friends end up in one place, or my family ends up in one place, I get careful. And that's because that's Halloween is great. It is fun. It is a wonderful time to practice being scared as a child so that you can handle it when you're an adult. It is a wonderful time to make peace. I see it as the death of the year. I don't necessarily. I keep the calendar, but I'm not always sure. Like I said, I walk a weird path sometimes, and there is a word that describes usually where I go. It's called liminal. I end up in the liminal places. I've grown accustomed to it, and this is a very liminal time. This is a place between states. So, Thesis says, I may or may not dress up for Halloween yet. I'm planning to do some more decorating of the yard. I had some costume stuff. I was actually going to dress up for this broadcast, and a couple things went missing. So I'm dealing with that. I also did not expect my poor wife, my blessed wife, whom I love more than anyone else on this earth except maybe my son. We're not going to play that game, but has a bad head cold. So she's not feeling well. Oh, Lydia. Yes, Lydia might be on public duty very soon. I'm thinking of if I can get her past Xander and Mandy out. I've been renovating the room, trying to slowly get things built back up. I understand that. If not, maybe you can do a stealth costume. My problem is every year I end up dressed as Artie from Warehouse 13 if I'm not in costume. But come on. I aimed for Giles growing up and I slammed into Artie. What can I say? I'm okay with that. So there's good stuff. There is good stuff coming. And I'm hoping that y'all can enjoy it. So please, please, please be safe. Now, while we're talking safe, let's talk safe. Don't bring live steel. Please don't. Please do not use live steel in costumes. Do not use loaded firearms as costume props. Well, what about unloaded ones? There are no unloaded firearms. Ask Alec Baldwin. So, be safe. Now, that being said, there is absolutely nothing I say wrong with, say, a nice, good-looking little trainer. Now, do you think if pressed, I could possibly provide some moderate defense to myself if I had to with a poly trainer? Every time I use my Green Destiny as a sword. Oh, God. Well, let's not this year. Let's just be careful, guys. I'm not saying don't carry a knife. I will never say don't carry a knife. But be careful that there's no confusion. Make sure nobody can grab any weaponry that's live steel you're carrying. And to the folks who end up working Halloween, and I mean that with a capital W, be safe. But trick-or-treating is rarer these days, and it's harder to find people who do it, so that's kind of sad, but it's also kind of groovy because it means it's safer. Okay, well, so it's blunt. I bumped a button. I hope you can still hear me. Anyway, I still got that up. You don't need that. But yeah, I'm hoping that we can keep this year a safe one. I want all my friends back so that I can bug you for remember, enjoy Thanksgiving. and then we can get down for the Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Katanika for our ninja practitioners. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please look up Dr. McNinja. Katanika is a wonderful holiday. When the first McNinjas triumphed over raiding pirates, using a miracle involving frozen shamrocks as shillelaghs. As shuriken. I'm not, John. Okay. John says cops don't care if it's not lethal. I'm not sure how you intended that comment, because with the way the police have been lately, after all the riots and stuff, I think they would take they don't care if it's not lethal, as in they're going to treat it like it looks. I might be overly cautious. I've been accused of this. But you're not going to die from me being overly cautious. That is now, see, and just be careful. As long as you're not being dumb with it, they probably won't even notice. I mean, yeah. I have carried lifesteal in the past, but I also was working those years. And we had some problems that were less metaphysical and more cryptozoological, or where it gets blurry. So my Halloweens tend to be different than most people's. Oh, Lord in heaven. But, so I take it serious, but be respectful, be smart, be safe. And I always make that advice. And there's always somebody out there saying, be audacious, be rude, be crazy, and you get to choose. Not an SCA event, it's totally natural and expected to be carrying live steel. That's part of why I enjoyed them. You missed a boot knife, John, by the way. Granted, I forgot about the boot knife, but you missed at least one boot knife. The day you patted me down before I went for the king. Love you. But you really should have shook me upside down. But yeah, those were good times. Things went bonk, but I don't begrudge it. We have I'm going to post Halloween. I'm going to be working a lot in November about writing. November is always classically a good writing time, so I'm hoping to get at least one nonfiction project wrapped up and published. I had a lot of setbacks this year, but I want to get something out this coming month, and I may be able to take my notes and get really cracking on Happy Halloween birthday. I love that. Who missed it? It was you missed it, John. Anyway, after give me all the knives, now give me those. And you and Mandy both missed that one, and I don't feel bad about it at all because it is the way. Call. It is so cringy to make the joke that, what's your religion? Christian Mandalorian. Never unarmed. It is the way. John, how many times could any of us? The guards usually are fairly ineffectual and easily distracted. I mean, what? I have never considered. These were the days. But, and I see, that's the thing. Even though I'm not a part of that group anymore, I do have positive memories, and I do respect and love a lot of the people still involved, and I still try to be serviced. And because of the way the situation was, I feel, and I've yet to be disproved, that I am of far more service to the society from outside of it than in inside of. Exactly. You know? See, well, John, don't feel bad. I'm an equalist. No blood spills. See? See? I'm nice. Nice. Mighty is the bam hammer. Long may it swing. Anyway. Whoop. Merry Christmas. Yeah, and now I've had some health issues and stuff this Halloween, but dude, y'all don't know, but this year, Griswold. I am Griswolding out this holiday season. Y'all don't know, but I'm prepared mentally for that electrical bill. Anyhow, my help is here. Hey, Cindy, have fun, make a lot of money, make a lot of friends, take a lot of pictures for the people who can't get out of their houses. Be safe. I absolutely love you, Cindy Cap. And yeah, I say I love people. I will keep saying I love people because I'm all about love. You have a wonderful time. Alrighty, folks, let's see. What else do we have to discuss? Do that. See if it still works. Yes. To folks who are asking, let me check this. Yeah. My art link is still valid. I am still on DA. My current stuff, hold on. Yes. To the person pinging me. Yes. Here we go. Boink. Looks something like this. This is the NickT.deviant art. That is me. I have been there for 17 years now. There's almost 1,000 pieces of art, so you can see my journey for the people who are asking about the whole art side of things. Yes, it's off topic, but I've got one person, and anybody who wants to play Big Stumpy Robots and wants the needs Mrs. B. Oh, where is Mandy's hammer? Mine is being used as a doorstop. Hers, I just moved. Hold on. It is actually behind me farther. It is, yeah. It's right behind me. It's just out of reach, and I'm not going to waddle over there and risk knocking my screen down. Because we don't need that. But, here, we'll do that. Boom. Because apparently some people don't know I multitask. So, this is the land of multitasking art nickydom. So, yes, I will be doing a whole bunch more art in the very near future. That's coming down the pipe. New gaming stuff is coming down the pipe. And as Luke Stone recovers, I am hoping where. Oh, I was going. Oops. No. Sorry. Made it this far, and then I clicked the wrong button. Oh, which one is that, John? I've been. I had some memory pieces. If there's something I was supposed to do for you, remind me what it is. Boom. Boom. Okay, that is set up. Sorry. We're still having a little bit of... it bumped me off because I clicked it off. But there was something I wanted to look up before I went. Oh, God. Because there was a thing on the Here we go. Alrighty. Boom. I'm actually going to take a minute and I'm going to show a video about a fundraiser for Luke Stone. This isn't an ad. This is me trying to help somebody who's dear to me and whose family who's had to endure some stuff. So bear with me for just a second on this one, guys. And I'm hoping the audio goes through. But well, I'm sorry, guys. I'm still learning that system, and the point is they're trying to raise money for Luke Stone. So please consider contacting them about that. I'll try to get the link in the Facebook public group. Okay, I see what's going on. My internet is being like extra twingy right now. Thank you, because that's what I need. Anyhow, I thank you for your patience on things not working out. John, I will try table with water jug and Florentine chuck. This is the most Nick thing you guys are ever going to see me do. I don't want to forget this, so I'm actually on my phone, because if I screenshot it on my computer, I won't. I just screenshotted my own thing. Yes, folks, that's how we roll. I do hope the insanity of tonight's me dealing with the things. I'm still learning. I don't think I can do that last one, John. I thought it was spelled differently anyway. But that's worse than Brian's Brew. There's too much around that name. But not bad, just too much. But I will do something along the art lines of that, because I think you'll dig it. I just have to get through some of the stuff that's coming up. Otherwise, guys, we're really close to the end of the show. It's 3 till 10 in where I am. I'm looking at the broadcast, and I owe you about 6 minutes, so I'm going to give them to you. But I have that novel. I just have to no, I know what you're talking about, John. Yeah, I definitely know. I thought you were a bear. John. Yeah, you were. You were a werebear. You weren't a werewolf. I mean, there's a Technicolor Dingo that has tangential applications to this conversation, but not anything that needs to be revealed to anybody else out of old stories. But we're doing a lot of sword-based news. There are some really interesting new media, new programs coming out. So I'm hoping it will generate renewed interest in swordplay, as is the ongoing lightsaber thing. Now, I haven't found a stunt saber in my price range that gets balanced reviews. I see ones out there that get oh, that's funny. That's funny. We're gonna here. Out of context comment right there. Anyhow, I'm planning to do a lot of gift art again for my amazing patrons. Especially, I have some stuff in the coming year that I really want to get rolling. My big personal challenge for both my channels, because I am revamping the Nick Talker Project channel, my other YouTube channel. I want to do more stuff with Big Stompy Robots. I want to do more stuff with gaming, and stop motion. I love that. I also am behind this curtain is a huge mess that I'm trying to reorganize and renovate so that I can actually do some of the crafting videos here. That's part of why I am learning Streamyard, because what I want to try to do is set up where I can have multiple camera angles going at any given point. So when I show how to make a gorget this winter, which is one of my big plans, I can do so in a way that you guys will be able to understand and talk through. But before I start doing really elaborate things, I want to get where I can rock this system inside and out. Yes, I know I don't need to take that med. It's 10 o'clock my time. That means it's medicine time very soon. So yeah, please don't forget to create your art. Now, John, since John's here and he's been riding pretty hard on the BS train, I love you, John. I'm gonna bust you up. John, Swakhammer Metals doesn't even have a website I can promote. Does it have an Etsy shop, something where you're putting your stuff out there? Because you make great stuff. You should sell the great stuff you make so that you can make a little side money and make a name for yourself. Yes, I am putting that on blast. I will put that on blast all day because I really need new glasses. No, I want to see you succeed in something you love, not the job you do out of necessity that seems, in my mind, abusive as you are winding for the so-called retirement. Knife. Anyway, so yes, shout out to Steve Clausen, wherever you are. You're working too dang hard, buddy, and I'm worried about you. So I will be looking at you. I will be looking at having guests on here. I may even have John Miner, who was drafted into doing a show as a on-screen discussion panel at some point. I'd like to do upcoming topics for this channel that I want to do, but in the fairly near future, I want to do the female gaze on what we do. So I would love to be able to set up a panel show with that, where I'm either keeping my basically silent, letting other folks speak, or engaging in the questions like that. I want to talk about aging in martial arts, and that's where I really think John can speak to what we're going through, because I've been at this about 20 years now, and how I feel, how I function at 40 is radically different than how I did at 19 when I started this mess. I really ramped up. Ogre, hello. No, I'm not going to shush. You are the ogre I'm always looking for, my friend. I can keep it going. I'm using Streamyard now, so you'll pardon me if things rattle around. And we've had a couple errors. I did try to do a log for Rising Tide, and I need that new. I'll see if I can find that while I'm doing this. Oh, I downloaded it, so I might be able to do the. Let me double check this messenger thing. I might be able to do a do a commercial for Rising Tide Broadcast Network, which I'm part of. That's not like a paid thing. As my tech evolves, I think I'm one step from being able to do that as a plug. I'm trying to make this all work without flashing everything to you guys, so let me see if I can't find the image, and it's a little dated because some people have cut in and out as things go. So since I can't find it, I will have to do that next week. There have been errors aplenty, but you know what? I think this all in all has been a hit. We've had some really, really good content. A good conversation, and even being able, and I will want feedback, especially from the patrons. Do you like me pulling up the website and going through the different swords so that we can talk about it? Because I'd like to highlight some of the different makers that I've had dealings with. At least in rotation for a while, because some people don't know they're out there. But I'll talk about my favorites, things like that. I think that could have value. I'm also, where is, oh, wait. Can I do it this way? Let me see if, boom. Documents. Is it coming up? Come on. Anyway, that's glitching galore. And we're okay with that, folks. We will make that work. John Myers has been in martial arts for well over 50 years, feeling it now. Don't do what I do what I tell you so you don't go through what I did. That's an interesting point. And it's one I think the people who hear your comments don't get. Because the John you hear commenting and bada with me is not teaching John. For a long time, John worked with a lot of women, and he made some mistakes, but he learned from them in a time when most instructors, especially in the our area of the SCA, weren't comfortable working with women at all. And as if I can get my wife to talk about, there was a real bias to the point where female fighters would be targeted and deliberately hurt on the field to try to run them off. It's a dark time, and it's a serious message, and that needs to be discussed too. So I'm going to look for some accomplished individuals who can talk to that. Let me see. Where did that go? I want to see if I can find the awesome, because I actually had Dan Hollifield he made a commercial. A StreamYard, bunch of old StreamYard links. that I could download, and I will have to find it. Anyway, shout out to the folks. Uh-oh. Did I freeze? Yeah. Shout out to the folks. Okay. Two things. We got to go two things. One, got knee replacement surgery soon, talking to the doctor the 5th. 4th, congratulations, John. You will be in our thoughts and prayers for a swift and effective recovery. The hazard of borderline giantism, I'm not sure if you've actually been diagnosed with giantism or not, John, but it is very hazardous to the joints, especially the knees and hips. And just dealing with the weight can increase the damage to them. So I really hope you can work through it, and we can talk about your recovery process, because being able to discuss recovery for the older martial artist, again, I look for niches that may not be covered by other groups. I don't want to do the same thing other people do. So that's why I don't harp a lot on fantasy sword sucks. Historical swords, yes. Go watch Skallagrim or Lindy Beige or Matt Easton at Skull Gladiatoria. I don't talk Eastern stuff a lot. I'll say talk to Sword Sage. Talk to Bladed Thesis. Talk to John. And so is White Korean and Hapkido. That's why I say beware hard arts, folks. Hard arts are hard on the joints. But Silver Ogre, who's a wonderful soul. Would it help if I mentioned my favorite appendix is the first edition AD&D Unearthed Account, the nomenclature of pole arms. Oh, wonderful reading. The research that was done at that period was delightful. I'm like a not to mention football, yes. It may be routine, successful. And Ogre says to John, may it be a routine, successful, and uncomplicated procedure. Absolutely. And John's listing off things that have blown his knees out. But trying to see. Okay. I'm going to have to mess with the video function later, which means there will probably be an unscheduled live stream at some point in the near future that I will hop on with the express intent of I'm experimenting, not much content intended, that let's just figure out how to make all this go. And I could do a lot of that behind the scenes, but you guys seem to enjoy it. And firefighter. John's listing White Crane Hapkido, football, firefighter. The man has been through damage, and his knees have taken it, folks. And I will say this, I have stabbed John personally in the knee and leg many, many times, because they were one of the two places I could get to, being the forearms and the knee and the leg. I'm good. But sorry, I had fun. Out of context stuff it's just delightful. But we are well past my timeline. So what I'm going to do is say thank you guys for an animated and surprising conversation. It went places I did not expect. I'm sorry we're cutting out Ogre. I've just been at it for about 2 hours. Hopefully I will be back next Wednesday on Red Valkyrie Presents Dice, Dames, and Dudes. And I can say it right if I speed through it. I have all sorts of shenanigans going on nickt.deviantart.com. We'll start giving you previews. And I will try to put some of my maps up there. Because I'm going to do the maps for them, and then I may reassess and do the maps for the publication, Dusk Falls Over Ravencleft Gorge, which is going to be the novelization / module based on the game I'm running for that bunch of lunatics, whom I love dearly. Shout out, by the way, He left, but Frog G made me these awesome glow-in-the-dark dice. Well, let me get them out of the bag because I haven't plugged them. I don't know, Ogre. I honestly don't know if they're off morning hiatus or not. I want to show that. Frog G made these for me. Because Frog G, and they actually glow in the dark. They are just amazing. Case and all. He made the case too. I put the Frog G frog on it because, well, it's just awesome, and so is he. I don't know if they're off morning hiatus. I'm going to ask about that probably after. Well, I'll contact them as soon as I know something. I will let you know. And if not, what I will do is if they aren't on that next Wednesday, I will be on my other channel doing another live draw. Does that sound fair? Because that seemed to go well, and it's good Streamyard practice for me. And, maybe I'll take commissions or discuss, draw something, and we can try to make it work. Sorry about the gum. My ears are popping so bad I can't hear what's going on, and I get really bad headaches. So, it is 10:15. I still have to relieve my wife so that she probably can go to bed as she's not feeling well. Thank you so much for coming out to this. Thank you for your support. The Patreon members, I don't have words, and I know I talk about it every week, and every week I'm like, I just don't. The folks who, and John donates things directly. I have spears and weapons, and I know he's plotting something because that man's been after a short sword for me for years. There's something cunning in the works on that front. He's the one who gave me. John is the one who gave me my all-time favorite sword, which is currently being persnickety. John is the one who addicted me to this thing. And I know he's working on something because he gets that way. And this is a dreamboat. So I look forward to whatever he's up to this time. Other than that, guys, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. If you want to support what I do, consider becoming Patreons or buying my books. And just be good to yourselves. Have a great Halloween. Haunt something. Don't get in trouble. Do what you got to do. Keep your guard up. Be good to yourselves. Check your footwork. Do your drills. And as always, folks, support your local swordmaster.